Well, hey everybody, Dark Coast Rec here, courtesy of Dark Coast Musings here on Substack, and we're just doing a little testing today. I got my being as I have so little speed up in the dark forest. My upload speed is usually anywhere from 2 to 4 megabytes per second, which is on the edge up there. Download usually will be around maybe 60 megabytes per second. I brought my box downtown um, near the office, and I've got almost 200 megabytes download and probably close to 50, if I remember right, when I did my speed test a minute ago. Upload. So I would do that. I basically wanted to try this because the one of my medical situations, I do some telehealth, and through the through the speed in the forest, it's not very good. So even my phone was just really uh, very difficult to use and complete the conversation that we had. So I think maybe what I'm going to have to do is come down here and try this. Anyway, I'm just um, trying to test some things. How you doing, Kristen? Nice to see you here. I'm just doing some testing. I'm not even sure how long I'll be on here. Um, but the speed here is really good. So we're getting some rain here in the Dark Coast, which is really good. We need it badly. Not that I really want to have a whole lot of rain at my place because various situations, but I'll take it. I'll take it any way we can. Um, I'm like I said, I'm just sitting here in the car with my plug in. I'm powered. I can't I can't stay too long because the laptop is not plugged into the power strip because there's not enough room for the power box and the power strip to work together in space. It's just not working very well. So we're trying things. I'm learning every day as I try new things and figure out, oh, those don't work. So anyway, just kind of curious how everything's working. If if you get a chance, Kristen, if you give me a chance, give me a thumbs up or something like that. That you can hear me, and the sound is reasonably good. Um, I'm assuming that things are okay. There's several things here I'm gonna try for. I don't know whether you can even. Okay, questions only. Okay, well that takes care of that. Um, okay, so I'm not gonna that little toggle switch put put questions only lit up, but it also darked out Kristen's name. So I think probably I'm going to leave it there. If maybe I'm not sure how to know whether that means if I do that, then that means nobody could ask questions. Again, I'm learning. This is I'm coming out of hibernation after several years of not really being very aware of things in the world. I mean, I kept up with politics and stuff like that, and that's kind of what the really down spot was for me after my the disappointing demise of um, my better half, my better three quarters, as Glenn Kirshner would put it. And the reality is I've got so much to learn and so little time to learn it, and just trying to figure out more things, and see if that goes. I'm going to toggle that switch off there. Um, it says no questions yet, but it's one of those things. Again, I'm just sitting here in the car. The rain seems to have stopped, or at least slowed down considerably. I hope it. We're supposed to have it through about 10 o'clock tonight, and then we get a little bit of a break, and then a little bit tomorrow, and then we're probably another 5 or 6 days on the phone weather app, which is notoriously inefficient, through my system at least. maybe not yours, but of days with no rain. And up here, we're dry up here. I've only been up here a couple of years, so I don't really know how how serious the whole thing is. I mean, obviously it's serious because they're trying to do all sorts of things with the 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 forests up here, and none of it's good. I mean, if we cut it all down and we just flatten all the land out, then yeah, there's a lot of room out here on the left coast for a lot more houses and buildings and all sorts of stuff like that. But the reality is, all that's going to do is make it warmer. So um, I don't know. Hope everybody's watching their own local area and doing what they need to do for survival and environmental concerns that really need to be dealt with and stuff like that. So, again, I'm just working on some technological stuff. I know what I know like the back of my hand, but that doesn't mean I know where my hands are all the time. So um, it's a learning curve. When I went back to school, I tried several different things that software things that I got good grades because I showed up all the time and did the assignments and asked questions, but doesn't mean I learned it natively. So the good part about that is there's plenty of people out here that can help, and I appreciate everything and everybody. So it's kind of one of those things where I enjoy what I'm doing. I have a lot of things that I can do around the property in the dark forest. So um, when it used to be my mom's place, so when she was there, she was very into the privacy aspect, which I certainly understand. So a lot of it's overgrown. So I've got to do a lot of cleanup, and I'm not going to be raking the forest, but if I can find my way to get some sort of a little tractor, then maybe I can at least rototill part of it and have a better garden, and go from there. And because we're going to be coming into some food shortages here. I know I'm late to the game and trying to figure out things and um, what I have to do, what we as human beings have to do to try and figure out what's going on, and um, you know the 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 good thing is there's resources that can be um, dealt with and learned, and um, there's a lot of places and ways to improve our light within the community, um, and the responsibility that we all have to look after those nearby us, let's put it that way, whether they be neighbors, whether they be people in our own little communities. um, those are the connections we need to make, and I think that there's a lot of ways that are not necessarily unknown, but are maybe underutilized. I mean, the administration thinks we're all underbabied, but I think we're underutilized in our community connections and what we do and how we do things like that. So I think that there's growth here within even what the Orange administration is trying to do. Um, there's so many different uh, aspects of what's wrong and what's being put upon us, that we are supposed to have no say in the matter. And because of that, I think that we need to all step up and step out. I'm kind of disappointed in the Democratic leadership, in that they just seem to be rolling along for the most part of it. There seems to be more positive uh, reaction, and I don't want to call it feedback, but fighting back from several members of the Republican Party. Now, admittedly, they're all members that are probably, memory serves correctly, they're all voted out, but they still have time left to do things. And because of that, I think that there's some opportunities for growth. And the more we see happening and what's being forced upon us, the more people are waking up. Now, I don't know whether that means MAGA's waking up or not. It may or may not mean that, but um, I think that sooner or later, probably within the next couple of weeks, we're going to start seeing serious um, things within our communities that are directly caused by this administration. And there's no way they can go, oh, but the Biden administration, the Biden was sleeping, Biden was doing this, Biden was doing, and even going back into Obama. Okay, what we're finding out through the Epstein files, that the administration is throughout. Some members more than others, but throughout, they're they're really showing us their stripes. And I think that it's something that we need to have more pressure on, because the more pressure wakes up more people. Now, is it going to be quick enough? No, it won't be quick enough. I mean, there's stuff that's going to take years and years, and probably 2 or 3 Democratic administrations to straighten out. But it really depends on how quickly people want to wake up and see that what is going on and what isn't going on. So, yeah, it's just me spouting off a little bit, trying a little bit of technology, find out if I could do this. This is probably how I'm going to have to deal with things up here. Now, there are certain things that I'm going to try from the forest, which when I'm going to try them, it might work out well. So, anyway, just we're just kind of farting around here and getting our fingers wet and trying to figure out new things and seeing that. I think it's really special that there's things that can be done. I think there's also a lot of it's kind of one of those things where we have to wake up to what's happening and be willing to step out of the box that we're in. And until we as a country are ready to do that, then I don't think a whole lot's going to change. Yeah, I might be surprised. Who knows? But I think that there's got to be more from the Democratic. The paper they put out there describing what they think the costs were of the last election and why it turned out the way it did. You can look at it and you can go, yeah, okay, maybe that point, but where's the other stuff that really cost us? And that's where the people that are in charge of the Democratic National Convention, the committee, they're out of touch. There needs to be non-establishment, long-term, entrenched Democrats in there, and I think we're starting to see that with some of the people that have recently, won their elections in their area, that have unseated somebody that's been entrenched for a while, and I think that's a really strong sign. It's not happening quick enough, obviously, but it is happening, and it will be happening. So, anyway, I just wanted to come on here and speak for a bit. Didn't really have anything, positive to relate in the sense of something new, but just the strength that we all have and we all want in this world, to where we can all survive, we can all be raised up, and we can all benefit from things that, let's face it, we all need. Single payer health, the universal basic income. It's been proven to work in countries, and like everybody knows, we're the only country that's evolved, as it were, and doesn't have any of these things that benefit people. Healthcare, income, support for those that need it, whether they be seniors, whether they be disabled. There's so much that needs to be done, and we're on the right track. we're getting there. We just may not get there as quick as some of us uh, want. We'll see. We'll understand. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I appreciate it, Kristen. Thanks for joining. I appreciate seeing that I'm actually live, and that's kind of cool. And every time I do something like this, that works kind of positive. Then it just kind of fires me up a little bit more to keep doing more things, and so I'm gonna work on different ways of doing things like this. But I did find out a way to make sure that this works better. Uh, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. So got to get a different power strip to where I can have my computer plugged in so I can go longer. I went from about 97% down to 51% now. At this point, I've got an old MacBook Pro, old, and let's face it, all my computers are way beyond what uh, people think are technicians think are acceptable because they're old. Some of them I can't really update as much as I'd like to, but they work at this point and they show that I can do some things. So I'm learning. I'm going to get better, and hopefully my home situation straightens out enough to where I can get on top of things and things can get better. So that's what I'm hoping for, and as long as I can keep making little strides like this, then everything's going to be okay. And I'm gonna I'm going to learn enough in the meantime that when the opportunity really comes out there, then I'm going to be ready to go. So, anyway, this is Rick from the Dark Coast, and this is Dark Coast Musings. And hopefully, I got a couple more things I'm swirling around in my head to try and do and be a part of within Substack and have some things going on. So I'm going to be okay, and I'm going to learn. That's the key. I keep getting up in the morning, keep learning something new, and as long as I can keep doing that, regardless of how much the body creaks in the morning, then everything will be great. So anyway, just signing off now, and thanks for stopping in, Kristen. I appreciate it. And we'll talk to you all later. This is Rick from the Dark Coast. I'm out of here. Dark Coast Musing.